Hello, everyone, and welcome to CFP Today. As always, brought to you by our good friends over at Fox 40. Make sure you're getting yourself ready for all things football at fox40shop.com. That's where you can go. Use the promo code CFP15 at checkout. A couple of quick ones for you here. Usually I do these podcasts when I have facts and things that can back up all sorts of different concepts and my mental wanderings around the game. This podcast specifically is going to be incredibly short because it's not based on fact whatsoever. It is strictly based on me just wondering aloud about a thing that I don't have confirmation on, but I'm sure somebody out there will know the answer to. So if you know somebody who has the answer for this, please tweet at me, whatever, like get a hold of me. Go through the CFP YouTube page, whatever it needs to be. Does Rasheed Bailey get a ring if the Argos win this week? Because there's a lot of storylines and a lot of things that we have gone through and tried to explore and all of the rest leading up to this game. And the one thing that I legitimately don't know is, does he get a ring? Now, obviously, the background for people that know the situation, Rasheed Bailey used to be with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Very important piece, I would argue, of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Then he moves on, ends up with the Toronto Argonauts this season, and strangely late into the season, after he was no longer an Argonaut because they released him in the middle of the season, he was still leading the team in receiving because there were injuries to a variety of different receivers and they were spreading the ball around, and he worked with Cam Dukes and was fairly high efficiency when he was with Cam Dukes. It was very, very weird to me. I was doing Argos games. Like, I wouldn't be able to put a week on it because it's all a bit of a blur right now. But I would say probably, like, Labor Day. And I think Rasheed Bailey was still the leading receiver in terms of, like, catches and yards per catch and all that kind of stuff for the Toronto Argonauts. He gets released, okay? Chad Kelly comes back. They go Makai Polk and DeMonte Coxie, and DeVaris Daniels comes to life in the playoffs, and. And part of the reason that I thought of this was that I called a game in Ottawa this year where Rasheed Bailey, who had signed on with the Ottawa Red Blacks practice roster, was on the field after the game. And I know who he is because I know his face. But it's like everybody in uniform is running around and having a good time. And Rasheed Bailey, who was been with the Bombers and had a lot of success and been with the Argos and was their leading receiver for a big chunk of the season, he was standing on the field at TD Place in Ottawa by himself. Like, nobody was talking to him. And he was just kind of like in a fall jacket, like wandering around. And it honestly made me sad because that dude is good and he deserves an opportunity to play and to make an impact on a team. And here's the ultimate twist of the knife, because I don't know the question if he gets a ring or not. I reached out to a couple of people from the Argonauts, and they said, not really sure. I don't think he does, though. I think it's only people who end the season on the roster. But here's the twist of the knife. Winnipeg, he basically took a sweetheart deal, came back. Then he decided, actually, you know what? I don't want to do that sweetheart thing anymore. I'm going to move on. Goes to Toronto. Toronto uses him with Cam Dukes. High efficiency, low average depth of target. When Chad Kelly came back, this is not the only reason, I'm sure. It was money related and whatever and ratio. But when Chad Kelly came back, I think they were kind of like, well, Rasheed Bailey's not necessarily like a huge upside to us with the way that Chad plays the game. Makai Polk is. DeMonte Coxie is. But with Nick Arbuckle in, wouldn't you love to have a Rasheed Bailey on your roster right now? Food for thought. Does he get a ring? I think he deserves a ring. Maybe the Argonauts should just give him a ring. He led the team in receiving half the year. Anyways, that's going to do it for today. CFP Today. Thanks as always to Fox 40 for supporting everything we're doing around here. And coming up tomorrow for you, I will have reaction to all things CFL Awards going down in Vancouver at the Grey Cup Festival this evening.